People who vanished on camera. The camera should have seen him walk out, but it didn't. On the screen, a young man named Brian pushes through crowded bar doors in Columbus, Ohio, smiling, alive, and unaware that he is about to become a chilling mystery the entire country will talk about for years. The footage shows him stepping inside, disappearing behind a group of laughing friends. And then, nothing. He never comes back into frame. The exit camera never captures him leaving. The world never sees him again. Investigators would later sit in a dark room, replaying that moment over and over. Freeze. Rewind. Slow motion. How does a person vanish in a place filled with people's security and cameras watching from every angle? The truth is, the terror didn't start there. Brian had been through a difficult year. His mother had passed away suddenly, and he buried himself in medical school, trying to keep the pain from swallowing him whole. His friends hoped a fun night out would help. Music, beer, loud laughter, anything to drown out the silence in his heart. They didn't know the silence was following him. Hours before the footage we see today, Brian and his best friend, Clint, walked into the ugly Tuna Saloona, a popular college bar. They were seen drinking, joking, drifting from one place to another inside the building. Everything looked normal, but sometimes evil works inside normal. A security guard later reported seeing Brian step into a hallway that led toward the bar's service area, an area with only one entrance and one exit. The camera watching that hallway never recorded him coming out. The footage was checked, every frame examined. Brian simply disappeared. What's worse, the bar had only one way out visible to the public. The other exit was under construction, blocked off. No one could get through. So how did the cameras miss him? How did he walk into a room full of eyes and leave unseen? Some people believe Brian met someone that night. Someone the cameras didn't want to show. A shadow lingering in the corners. A whisper behind the laughter. A presence that follows those who are chosen. The more police searched, the stranger became. His phone remained active for days after. Calls went straight to voicemail, except for one where it actually rang. Tower signals pinged his phone miles away, almost like he was traveling or being taken. His father searched endlessly, never giving up hope, until the day he died, still waiting for his son to walk back through the door. Now, years later, we are left only with the footage. A few seconds of Brian smiling, alive, before the frame swallows him whole. And as investigators stared at the screen one last time, something happened. The background flickered. A shadow shifted. A figure, tall, still, almost human, stood where no one should be. Then the feed cut to black. Brian wasn't the first to vanish on camera, and he wouldn't be the last. The airport lights flickered above him like warning signs from the heavens. Lars Mittank stood inside the security terminal of the Varna airport in Bulgaria, his chest rising and falling with fast, panicked breaths. He kept looking over his shoulder, as if something invisible stalked him from behind. On camera, he looks just like any other traveler. Backpack slung over one shoulder, clothes wrinkled from the trip, fear buried behind tired eyes. But then, without a signal, without a word, Lars suddenly turns and runs. He sprints through the automatic doors, through the parking lot, across the grass, into the trees, and the cameras never see him again. Just a few days earlier, Lars had been enjoying a beach vacation with friends. Sunlight, cold drinks, laughter, everything a young man could want. Until one night, they got into a small fight with a group of locals. Lars said he was punched in the head, complained of a terrible ringing in his ear. Doctors told him he had a minor injury, nothing serious, just rest. But Lars didn't believe them. Something changed in him. His friend said he became paranoid, whispering that they were following him, listening to him, trying to get inside his head. He refused to leave Bulgaria with the rest of the group. He insisted that if he got on that plane, he would die. So he stayed behind. Alone, he checked into a cheap hotel near the airport. The security cameras there captured disturbing behavior. Lars pacing hallways through the night, staring at exit doors, listening to the walls as if they could speak. At one point, he was seen hiding in the elevator, trembling like a hunted animal. Then came the final morning. At the airport clinic, The doctor stepped away for just a moment, and the security camera outside the door caught Lars rushing out, leaving everything behind, his luggage, wallet, and passport. Only fear traveled with him now. Some believe Lars was suffering from severe anxiety or medical condition. Others claim he took the wrong medication or was traumatized by the fight. But his mother received one last voicemail. "Please, just wait for me. I'll call you later." His voice was shaking. Police searched the field surrounding the airport. They found nothing. No footprints. No clothing. No body. It was as if the earth swallowed him. Years have passed. Hikers and locals occasionally report seeing a man who looks like him, wandering silently through forests. Thin, dirty, always disappearing before anyone can get too close. Like a ghost running from something only he can see. And when investigators rewatch the airport footage, they notice one chilling detail. Right before Lars runs, he looks directly into the camera, but he isn't looking at the camera. He's looking through it, as if the threat he feared was behind the lens. The screen freezes on his face, wide eyes filled with horror. Then the picture distorts, a blur cutting across the frame. Something moves past him, something the human I wasn't meant to see. Lars Mittank ran from the camera, but the next person didn't run at all. They stood inside the camera frame and faced the unknown. The elevator doors slide open and she steps inside. Elisa Lam looks calm at first, a young woman on vacation in Los Angeles, staying at a historic hotel downtown. But what the camera in that elevator captures will become one of the most chilling pieces of footage the world has ever seen. She presses a button, then another, then almost all of them, like she's desperate to get away from something. But the elevator refuses to move. Elisa peeks out into the hallway. She hides in the corner. She waves her hands in strange motions at someone or something just out of view. Her fingers twist like she's trying to explain a secret language only the shadows understand. Her shoulders tighten. Her breathing changes. Every movement feels wrong, like she's trying to escape a presence that the camera can't capture. Then, the moment that still haunts investigators. She steps out of the elevator, turns left, and vanishes. The door slides shut behind her. To understand that terrifying clip, we go back to the beginning. Elisa had been traveling alone, posting cheerful updates online. Her last stop was the Cecil Hotel, a building with a long, dark history. Strange deaths, violent crimes, stories whispered about rooms that should never be rented. At first, everything seemed fine. But soon, Elisa began acting strangely. Guests complained that she was talking to herself, leaving her room doors wide open, wandering the hallways at night. Hotel staff eventually moved her to a different floor for her own safety. No one knew what was coming. Her family waited for her daily check-in call, but the phone stayed silent. Days passed. Search crews combed the hallways, the roof, the basement, every corner of the hotel. Nothing. Then guests started complaining about the water. It tasted odd. It looked dark. The pressure was low. Maintenance workers climbed to the rooftop, opened a heavy metal tank, and what they found ended the search. Elisa was inside. How she got into that locked tank, with no ladder, no open hatch, and alarms on every door, is a question that still twists the stomach of anyone who hears it. Doctors ruled out foul play. Police couldn't explain the elevator footage. The hotel insisted no one could get to the roof without staff. But someone or something did. There's one final disturbing discovery. Investigators reviewing the elevator footage noticed the timestamp glitching. Certain frames appear stretched, slowed, as if someone tampered with the video to hide what was really there. Just before Elisa leaves the elevator, a shadow falls across the floor, long and human-shaped, but without a body attached. And then the footage slows, as if giving whoever or whatever was watching enough time catch up. 3 cases, 3 disappearances caught on camera. But these weren't accidents. Something is seeking those who step into the lens. And the next person to vanish will be someone who thinks they're safe inside their own home until they look back at their security feed and realize they're not alone. The house was supposed to be safe. Quiet neighborhood, locked doors, cameras installed on every corner. A family of 3 David, his wife Laura, and their 10-year-old daughter Emma, living the kind of life tragedies never touch. Until the night, David woke up to an alert on his phone. Motion detected. 2:14 a.m., living room. He rubbed his eyes, assuming it was just a cat, until he remembered they didn't have one. He opened the security app, expecting nothing but darkness. Instead, he froze. On the screen, Emma stood in the middle of the living room, bare feet, hair covering her face, completely still. David rushed downstairs, calling her name. But when he reached the living room, it was empty. Emma was back in her bed, sound asleep, and the footage showed her disappearing. Not walking away, not running, just flickering out like a candle flame. The next day, David told himself it must have been a glitch. Cameras mess up, technology fails, but the alerts kept coming. Each night, the camera caught his daughter standing in different places. The kitchen, the hallway, staring up at the attic door. Always still, always silent, and always disappearing the instant he entered the room. Emma didn't remember any of it. She just said she had nightmares. Nightmares of a man with no face, watching her from corners. David rewound the footage again and again, hunting for answers. That's when he saw it. A figure, tall, thin, motionless, standing behind Emma in the living room clip, its head tilted like it was studying her. Its outline distorted the pixels around it, as if the camera struggled to reveal what shouldn't be seen. Frame by frame, David watched the figure reach forward, its hand hovering inches above Emma's shoulder, and then the feed glitched. Emma vanished. The figure did not. It stared directly into the camera. David slammed the laptop shut, his heart hammering. He wanted to wake Emma and run out of the house, but his fear kept him frozen. What if that thing was also waiting in the hallway? Then a new alert. Motion detected. 3:11 a.m., basement camera. Slowly, David opened the video feed. The basement door, locked since they moved in, now stood wide open. The camera shook slightly, like something was jamming the signal. A pale, broken shadow slid across the floor, dragging itself deeper into the dark. David whispered a prayer. Another alert buzzed. Motion detected. 3:11 a.m., Emma's room. He tapped the feed with trembling hands. Emma was awake, standing in front of the camera, facing him directly, her eyes wide, her mouth slightly open, as if she wanted to scream, but couldn't. Then a tall figure rose behind her, the same one from the living room footage. Its long arms curled around her small shoulders. Emma didn't react. She didn't even blink. She slowly lifted her hand and waved goodbye. David sprinted toward her room, stumbling over himself as he ran. He pushed the door open. The bed was empty. Emma was gone. Like the others, she vanished on camera. Police searched everywhere. The footage was reviewed endlessly. No one, not even experts, could explain what they saw. The family moved away, but David never stopped checking the app, hoping one day she'd reappear. The case was added to a growing list. People who vanished on camera. And late at night, when the world is quiet, investigators replay the footage, studying that faceless figure staring back, because they now believe something terrifying. It isn't the camera's job to protect us. It's the camera's job to watch us disappear.